Today what we will do is we will build a simple summarizer for YouTube videos. So this is again one of the things that I do often. Before I watch a video, I want to see if there are interesting points that are discussed in the video. Is this a video interesting enough for me to watch? And LLMs have a good use case here, so they're very good at summarizing stuff. So if you give the subtitles or transcript of a video to them and define which information you wanted to extract, they can do a very good job at summarizing it. So what I thought today is, let me quickly show you how to build a YouTube summarizer. In the future video we might improve it. So right now the summarizer that we will do is will work well for short videos, but it might not work for long videos because of the context length limitation. So all large language models have input context length and the output context length. So these days, like models like GPT-4o mini or GPT-4o have an input context length of 128,000 tokens or 128K. So that's basically considerably large. But again, it's still limited. And there might be videos, let's assume 4 or 5 are long. So the number of words that are there in that transcript might increase the token length uh, of the model, and it might give an error. So today we'll focus on a small video, and in a future video what we will do is we will make it better and handle that scenario. Now, to create a YouTube summarizer, again this is an empty folder that I have, so I don't have anything right now in it. What we need a large language model to do the summarization, but before a large language model can do the summarization, we need to get the subtitles of it. Fine. Now there are couple of popular open source tools that we can use to download a video or download a subtitle from it, and one of them is yt-dlp. So this is an open source project. I think it's a community fork of YTube downloader that used to exist earlier, and I think it is still maintained, but I think it has some interesting or new features that are there. Now here if you look at it, so it also supports subtitles. So if I click on subtitles, you will see that you can write a subtitle to a specific location. You can also do the auto subtitle generation. So this is what we need. We need to do the auto subtitle because a lot of videos don't have the subtitles, so they are generated on the fly. One more interesting option that is there is we don't have to download the video, so it allows us to skip the download and just download the subtitle file. The second tool that we need is, as I said earlier, is that we need to call a LLM. Now from the typically I use ChatGPT or Claude or some other language model tool like I think Perplexity and multiple other UIs to do that. But there is also a command line tool, or I write in Python or Java, whichever programming language I'm working with. For command line, I use a tool called LLM, so that anybody can install on their machine. Right now, I have installed on my machine, so I have LLM installed right now. I think I used Homebrew, so I'm using Macintosh system, so I'm using Homebrew to install it. But again, you can use it Pepex or Pep or whatever you want. And by default, it works with the OpenAI. So if you have OpenAI API key set, it automatically works for you. You don't have to do any setup. So if you set an environment variable called OpenAI API key, so you will have to set that variable OpenAI API key, and by after that, it will work automatically for you. Now, just to quickly see this tool in action, so what we do is we call the LLM tool and pass it a prompt. So my usual first prompt is teach me something interesting. Right? So this is typically the first prompt that I try with any large language model. So it's talking about bioluminescence, and it is talking about it's a natural phenomena where living organisms produce and emit light. And it basically gives you the detail of that phenomenon, and it will help you understand. And also you can see that by default it's generating the text in the markdown format. Fine. And you can also say teach me something interesting in software engineering if you like, and again just like ChatGPT, you will get the response. The response is happening in a streaming manner. Fine. So it talks about design pattern. And just like ChatGPT does not allow you to specify the temperature or the system prompt, but here you can specify the temperature as well if you want to. Like the temperature is for the creativity aspect of the model. So depending on your use case, you can change it. So we have one thing sorted out, which is we know how to use the LLM. So what we really need to do is we need to somehow pass the subtitles to it. We will say the prompt that we have to pass is summarize the YouTube video, the content of the YouTube video, and later we will change it to a better prompt. But let's start with that video. And we can also pass in the temperature. I think that is minus T 0.2 or whatever. You can start with 0 if you want no creativity in it. And you can also specify the model. So we can specify that we are interested in GPT-4o mini. It's the cheapest and the fastest model in OpenAI. And then we will have to specify the content as well. Fine. And that is what we will be picking from the so what typically what we will do is we will echo a file. So we will probably have content written to some file. So we will take cat of it, and then we will just take a file which will have the subtitles, and that we will pipe to the LLM, and LLM will basically do the summarization of the content, and then we will later convert it to a proper script that we can use. So more or less this is what we want to do. Now to do that we need to get this file, a variable populated with the data. So let's do that. As I said, we have yt-dlp. I also have installed on my machine. So if I just do yt-dlp, it is also installed. And now what we can do is we can basically call yt-dlp to download the subtitles. What we have to do is we have to do write auto subs. That's the first parameter that we have to call. We also can provide a parameter called quiet, so that it does not print anything on the console. And we have to say that we want to convert uh, convert subtitles in SRT format. So that is one more thing that we can specify. We can specify skip download, which will be, if you specify this flag, it will be true. And then we can specify the YouTube video URL. So the URL here that we're talking about, it's a small video by Lex Fridman, or a clip by Lex Fridman. So let's just take this one. And then what we can do is we can specify the output file. So we can say output, and let's say the output file is uh, subtitles subtitles.txt. Fine. I'm hoping this command will work, and again we will also check it via language model. We will also use ChatGPT or the LLM tool to get the script as well. So now I pressed the enter here, and as you can see, this, I think it worked, and you can see that it downloaded this file called subtitle.txt.en.srt. And if we just do, I think we can just open that in our editor. So this is the file. So again, just as in the format of a subtitle file format, the SRT format, you have the data. And again, we can do some cleaning. If we want to remove the timestamp or something else, we can do that as well. Now what we really want to do is, as I said, we have to take the content of subtitles, and what we will do is we will just cat it and get the file that we have, which is the subtitle.txt.en.srt. So by default it gives us the subtitles in the English format. So now this is where we have the, and we can, I think, also echo it as well if we want to. So content subtitles, this is the complete 355 segments I think are there, and I think we will find that there are 355 segments here. Yeah. So we have all the content in a variable that we have defined called content subtitle. Now what we really want to do is we just want to pipe it to LLM. So what we are doing now is we are specifying which model. I think by default it is GPT-4o mini, but again let me specify that. And then we want to provide a prompt. Right now let's start with the summarize the key points in the video subtitles. Fine. So what we are saying is summarize the key point in the video subtitle, and that should be good enough for now, and then we will improve it. And anything else that we need here is we can also specify temperature. We can say temperature, let's assume we want to start with a lower temperature like 0.1, and we can also specify max tokens, I think -m. Let's just look at the format here. I think it should be possible somewhere. Executing a prompt. So you can see that it allows you to give an option called minus no stream. You can also say -mgpt40. And I think there will be somewhere you can also provide the system prompt as well. I think token. I don't know where that is. Yeah, this is the parameter that we can specify minus max tokens. I think this will be minus max tokens. And we can say that let's assume the output could be 2000 tokens, which will be somewhere around 1500 words. I think that should be it. Let's try and see if we got it right. So now as you can see, we got something wrong. The temperature, let's see, temperature is this one, maybe -T is. So let's just quickly look at the help for now and figure out. And we have to. I think it has to be either minus temperature or temperature. So let's just see. It is saying right now it is -T is template. So maybe it is to be minus temperature or something. So if I just go up and I think there has to be a way to specify it. So like I think they are specifying temperature is equal to 1.5. And that has to be specified using -O. So what we really have to do is we can say -O temperature 0.1. I think this again has to be -O max tokens, I guess. Let's see. Yeah. So the video discusses the rise of communism in Soviet Union. Focusing on this, it talked about power vacuum, unexpected rise of Marx, Lenin return, seizure of power, impact of World War One. So basically gave you some sort of understanding of the video, and you could see that it was pretty fast to do that. Now what we can do is, I think I did it in 6 seconds. So now what we can do is we can convert it to a shell script that we can call rather than doing all of these things manually. We can just pass a YouTube URL to the shell script and it will give us the summary of it. So what we really want to do now is, this is where again we will go back to our best friend ChatGPT and we will ask it to generate the structure of a shell script. You have to generate a shell script that takes in a YouTube URL as parameter, as argument probably, and extract subtitles of it using yt-dlp. And we can also pass again, let's just start with this. Once that the subtitles should be saved in a file. File name should be unique, so use UUID. Cat the contents of the file to a variable and print it. So let's just start. I don't know if it is know about the LLM tool. I doubt it is aware of it. So let's start from it. Now, as you can see, it did one thing good, which it is first checking whether yt-dlp exists or not, which is good. It created a file called srt. Now, as you can see, it is giving write auto sub, the tool that we passed. It is also specifying the language, which is English. Skip download output. $1 is the URL that we specified, the YouTube URL, and then it basically printed the content. Now this looks fine. Let's just copy it in our file. So let's just say yt summarizer.sh. It added bin bash at the start, which is fine. Then more or less it looks fine to me. Let's try it. So we have a file now. Let's just remove these subtitles. We don't need that. We will have to make it executable. So let's just provide that. And now we are calling yt summarizer. Let's pass in the URL. Let's see what happens. Now, as you can see here, the interestingly failed to download subtitles. The subtitles are not available. Now this is where I think we will have to change it. So let's go back. So fail to download subtitles or subtitles not available. The first thing that we should do is let's make it quite thing that we added that time, minus minus quite. Now, which would mean that now it will not, I think, print those console logs that would print. It is only giving us the error, which is failed to download subtitles. This is where we will have to do the auto convert part. If again we go to the yt-dlp command that we have, so this is the command that we use. So what we really have to do is we have to give it convert subs. I think apart from that, we are more or less doing the same thing. So let's just copy it here and let's just add it here. Now let's call it again. Again, it is not working. Failed to download subtitles. Okay. Oh, the funny thing that was happening is because this is basically the error. I initially thought the error is being returned by the yt-dlp, but this is not what is happening. The error is returned by the we are checking for the file name, and file name actually, if you see last time also it added en.vtt this time because by default the format is the vtt format. Now what we really need to do here is that we also have to append that part to it. So the actual file name that we are interested in is, so let's just use LLM to fix it. And let's just give it the feedback. Now the feedback that we want to give is add the file that gets created has extension .en.vtt .srt.en.vtt. Make the change so that we can read the file. So let's just do that. Now again it is printing the whole thing. You can also say to ChatGPT that I'm only interested in the changes. It will give you the changes, but I think since this is a small code, it should be fine. I don't know if this will work or not, but I don't think it will work because right now it has saved as a en.vtt. I think that en.vtt it automatically adds maybe. So let's just replace it for now. And let's just remove all these files that we have. If I just do this rm minus f star dot en dot vtt. Fine. So now I have, and one file that we have is en.srt. Let's just delete that. We are not interested in it. So again, let's just call our YT summarizer, passing in the URL. Interestingly, now it has printed it. One thing that we can still add is the quiet option. We can say we are not interested in the complete logs that it has been generated. Now, again, let's just delete it for now. Which file we are deleting? Yeah, that's fine. Now, what we really wanted is we just want to pass this content to LLM. So what we really have to do is what we were doing that time. So we just want to pass all of this again. This is it. I think this should work. So let's just give it a try. And we don't want to echo that. That's good. So let's just try it now again. So it is working. So it is giving us the output in the streaming manner, summarizing it and giving it in the streaming manner. One thing that we can also do is we can also just add, just like they have added a check for yt-dlp, we can also add a check for LLM. So we can just say LLM, and we can say LLM could not be found. So if somebody tries this script and they don't have LLM tool installed, they should get this error. And we can also give the URL, so we can just say setup. Fine, so we can just specify it here. If we want to improve, please install the from here. Let's just say we want to add it like this from here. Fine. So this is more like it, and again, this will not work if we don't provide any URL. So if I don't provide anything, it will say that you have to specify the YouTube URL. So I think it did a fairly good job. One last thing that we might want to change is the prompt. Right now, the prompt that we specified is summarize the key point in the video title. I wrote a blog some time back where I showed that we can probably define a better prompt for summarization. So this more or less the code is available here as well in the LLM tools repository, and this is the prompt that I used that time. So if I just copy paste this prompt, which is much better than what we have right now, and specify it here. So now here you can see that what we are doing is we are doing a bit of role playing here. So we are telling the model that it is expert at summarizing content. You are given YouTube subtitles in the SRT format. We are asking it to do things step by step or chain of thought reasoning, and then we are telling it to follow these steps so that it generates a better summary. We tell it that we need it in a group format, and group can have multiple points. Then we basically showed it the format of the groups and the key point as well. And last thing that I'm saying is let me end the, depending on the content of the video, you also could generate some sort of a code. Now this is a bit different, and here we can just specify the prompt that we have, which is this one. Now let's go back, and again you can see that I also gave the summary length is 1200 to 1600 words because I want a bit longer summary. Now if I go back and use the summarizer again, it is now giving us got an expected argument. I think somewhere I got it wrong, probably something is missing here. Let's just see what I got wrong. So let me just quickly check from here. So this is the prompt, and okay, so this is how we have to pass it. So let's just copy it here. So it's a multi-line, so we will have to provide it like dollar prompt. And now if we do it, I'm hoping now it will do a better job. So as you can see, it is creating some sections now. The first is the context of revolution, then the vital role, then the impact of World War, ideological influences, nature of revolution, revolution strategy. You can see that's much more, it has much more content to it. And again, you can see that it ended with the quote, revolution is not an event but a process, it is a relentless pursuit of vision and all that. Fine. So, and my point here with this is why I'm ending the summary with a quote is you can also, again, you can also start building some evaluation. So you can build an evaluation which checks for the format of the blog, format of the summary or the length of the summary. You can also use an LLM to check whether the all the right points are covered or not. You can also check whether it is ending with a quote or not. So just showing here that you can specify your own format and use it. Now let's end it with a bigger video. So this was a small video, just 9 minutes. So let's pick up something bigger. Uh, let's see which one to pick. Let's pick up graphs, and yeah, this is more or less 36 minutes. This is good enough. So let's just go here and let's just pass in the summarizer to it. Again, it will take few seconds. Now, as you can start seeing, the context length limitation is starting to it. So right now, the tokens that we are sending is 143,232, 1,43,000, and the limit is 128K. So it is 143K, the limit is 128K. So as you will start seeing that, this is where you will start hitting the context limit. So you will have to pick up smaller videos. This is something that we will pick up in the next video where we will discuss how to handle these context length limitations. So that's it for today. Uh, I will continue publishing such videos in future as well. Please subscribe the channel if you like these videos. Thanks a lot. Thank you.